John and Maria grew up in the roughest neighborhoods of Detroit. John's dad had left when he was just 5, leaving his mother to juggle 3 jobs to keep the family afloat. Maria's family wasn't any better. Her parents worked tirelessly in low-paying jobs, barely making enough to cover rent and groceries. Both John and Maria learned early that life wasn't going to give them handouts. They had to fight for every small victory. Despite their harsh realities, John was always the kind of person who refused to accept no for an answer. He worked part-time at a local grocery store while going to high school, sometimes skipping meals just to make sure he had bus fare for school. Maria, on the other hand, had a spark of determination that matched John's resilience. She studied late into the night by candlelight when the power was cut off, dreaming of a better life she wasn't sure she would ever get. Their paths crossed one rainy afternoon at a local community center. John was volunteering at a free food drive, and Maria had come to collect supplies for her younger siblings. Their eyes met over a shared laugh at a spilled can of beans. It was a small moment, almost laughably insignificant, but it marked the beginning of a bond neither of them expected. They quickly became inseparable, sharing dreams of a life that seemed impossible. Owning a home, providing for a family, and escaping the cycle of poverty. But love didn't make life easier. John lost his job at the grocery store when the business downsized. Maria, who had just been accepted to a nursing program, couldn't afford the tuition even with scholarships. Their evenings were spent budgeting pennies, crying silently in their shared apartment, while trying to reassure each other that they'd make it. There were nights when they had nothing to eat, relying on food banks, friends, and the kindness of strangers to survive. It seemed like every step forward was met with 2 steps back. Then came the moment that tested them the most. Maria became pregnant, and the excitement of expecting a child collided with the fear of not being able to provide for a family. John felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. But instead of giving in to despair, they promised each other they would do everything in their power to give their child the life they never had. They found odd jobs. John worked construction during the day, Maria tutored kids in the evenings, and they both learned to live on almost nothing. One evening, while cleaning a local cafe for a few extra dollars, John overheard the owner talking about a business opportunity. A small, struggling landscaping company in need of help. It was risky, but John took the leap, using the last bit of his savings to invest in equipment and supplies. Maria worked tirelessly alongside him, balancing school, work, and her pregnancy. Slowly, their business began to grow. They faced setbacks, equipment broke down, clients were unreliable, but every challenge was met with determination. By the time their son Michael was born, John and Maria were still struggling, but they were stronger together than ever. They celebrated small victories. The first paycheck from the landscaping company that covered rent and groceries. The day they could finally buy a small crib for Michael. The first time they felt like they were not just surviving, but building something meaningful. Years went by, and their hard work began to pay off. Their business expanded, John finally found stability in management, and Maria graduated nursing school with honors. But they never forgot the nights when they went to bed hungry, or the days when it seemed like the world was against them. Those struggles became the fuel for the life they were creating for Michael and themselves. Now looking back, John and Maria see a life they once thought impossible. They still live simply, but they live with gratitude, love, and purpose. They built not just a business or a home, they built a legacy of resilience, showing that love, courage, and relentless perseverance can overcome the harshest circumstances.